This video quickly goes over our senior project titled Robotic Lighting Control for the Operation Table. Normal traditional operation lights usually come with a couple of issues. First of which is that they are very heavy, they're attached to the ceiling, and they're very big and bright. And a couple of doctors mentioned that they do not need this much light to perform a successful operation. Another issue with them is that they are not portable, so they cannot be utilized in places where there isn't a proper hospital environment, such as field hospitals and work camps, and so on. The third issue is that they operate manually. This means that the surgeon will have to direct someone else to manually grab the arm of the light and direct it where the light needs to be shed. The final issue is that they are very expensive in price. Our design aims to address and solve each of these problems and provide an integrated functional solution. So this setup represents an operational table. You can see that there is a pole at every single corner. The reason for this sort of setup is for shadow cancellation. I will explain that shortly. Another thing noticed is the numbers. Every pole is assigned a number, and the number 0 is based on the left-hand side of the surgeon. So it will always be 0. It's written right now in binary because we are using switches, and these switches are responsible for switching the orientation if the doctor decides to operate on the other side, as you can see here. So what was pole number 1 in the previous picture is now pole number 0, and so on. Each of these poles have a microcontroller connected to them. They're working individually, and they are being directed by a remote controller that is at the hand or close to the surgeon, so he can control the light movement himself. We will now see how this system is supposed to work. First of all, we plug in the power that is supplied to the motors, the microcontrollers, once everything is on, the lights initially move to the center. They are moved by 2 servo motors. As you can see here, this is the remote controller, and my colleague is moving it downwards, upwards again, and then to the left and right. Now we will do the same thing after switching the pole numbers using the toggle switches attached to each single pole, and we will see how this works. This way, the surgeon will be able to move from this side of the operation table or the other side easily. Moving on to the shadow effect reduction. This video will explain how this setup helps us get rid of the shadows casted. This spotlight here seen is casted by 2 lights of our operation table seen before. My colleague will now wave her hand and show us how these shadows will be reflecting. As you can see, they are very focused and they are very obvious. And they can be very troublesome to work with. We have now turned on the other two lights. This is how the system is supposed to work, with 4 lights on at the same spot. And as you can see now, as she moves her hand, the shadows are significantly reduced than they were before. And this all helps and contributes in easing and providing a functional light system for the surgeon that is portable, low cost, and easy to use. Thank you for listening to this video.